Hey survivors, it's Angie Atkinson, and today at queenbeing.com, I'm going to share something kind of special with you. It's a compilation video made up of various text messages and other ways that narcissists have abused people through text message. Okay? So it all comes down to text message, IM, that kind of stuff. Now, what I have here is a collection for you of messages that were sent to actual survivors by actual narcissists that I collected from a group, the SPAN group, as a matter of fact. So if you'd like to find out more about joining SPAN, you can visit queenbeing.com/SPAN, and I'll go ahead and make sure that's in the comment. In the description section below. Okay, so I'm going to share these texts with you and some of the experiences that our users or that my group members have had, and tell me what you think. Are some of these relatable to you? Let's get started. Alright, so the first one I've got a screenshot for you. Take a look at it right here. It says, been calling Gizmo Pal since 8:15 a.m. 5 years ago today, I risked my life giving birth to a human being and have sung happy birthday to her at the time of her separation from my body every year. This is my special day too. You'd think every effort would have been made to talk to her mother today. It is human decency. Alright, so he says, this is what the member says. And then the narcissist says, I've been trying all day. I've tried to get her to go to the phone, to put the phone on her, and I've tried to get her to call. Not sure what's going on, but I can try to sneak the phone into her room and then put a show on it for her or something. I'll try putting it in the room with her and put a show on or something. Try calling in a couple of minutes. Now, that doesn't seem so bad, right? Seems pretty nice and normal, doesn't it? Well, here is where it gets interesting, my friend. All right? We're about to show you. So, she says this is abuse, the member. She says, you know what? It still makes me sick to my stomach, and it's been a year. She says she never did get to talk to her daughter that day. She said she would never refuse to talk to her, and she didn't have her Gizmo Pal, which is a toy, or an app or something. It answers automatically after 3 rings, and you can talk for 1 minute before it hangs up. It's so your calls can't be ignored. So she said that the ex put the phone up somewhere. There's more to the story, who was there, and so on and so forth. She said it was her daughter's first birthday away from her. And before this, mom was the only caregiver. Okay, so this narcissist lived at his mother's house, who was also the father of her child, and visited her and the daughter at most 3 times a week. And they are allowed to be at the special events for her daughter, and she said this person made no effort for her to even give her daughter a hug. So I found that very interesting. All right, let's move on. Next up, we have a text. Member says that during Hurricane Sandy, this was from Amy, I believe, during Hurricane Sandy, who gave me permission to use her name, and who has been a very big help to me in this group in a number of ways, including being one of our admins. She says during Hurricane Sandy, no electric. She was staying at her son's house with her pets, or with his pets, until it was over. And during, of course, she was still in shock over the reality of her life at that moment, right? She says that she had gone no contact because the ex kept texting her and could take off kept asking, could I take you off the car insurance yet? And at least every 2 hours, she said there was no gas and no food where she lived, no electric. And after a 32 plus year marriage and 4 kids, she was never asked, how the kids were doing or anything like that. She said that the ex lived out of state. Interesting, right? All right, so then we've got, let's see here, we've got one from another person who says she got this text from her narcissist. You're so crazy. You are the reason that your ex did drugs and died of an overdose. She said that he said, I do not blame him having to deal with you all the time. She said that's the most painful thing that her narcissist ever said to her. I can imagine. Another one says, and I think this is the same person, but I can't remember exactly, said, if you choose to go into work tonight for the grand opening of her family's second restaurant, nope, this is a different person, don't bother coming home tonight. You can find another place to sleep. It's either them or us. So basically this person, this narcissist, told this member that, you know what, I am the most important thing in your life, and if you won't choose me over your family, then I'm out. See? And again, this was for the grand opening of her family's second restaurant. It was a big deal for them. All right? Another one says, the text was, it's not like I went on to Match, an online dating site, looking for the sick girl with Lyme disease. Whatever, dude. Okay, and that was in response to her being sick, right? Like he was saying that since he hadn't actually chosen for us, to get a sick person, he would just not be happy about that or whatever, right? All right. Another one says that the narcissist continually calls her son on her cell phone each day, several times a day, and intentionally trying to use all of her minutes on her cell phone. She said it was his goal every day. She said this generally wouldn't be a huge deal, but her son had his own cell phone, and if she would ignore the narcissist, he said she was interfering with his parental rights. Stupid manipulation for no reason. She said he also used her son to find out what she was doing and who she was doing it with. Well, that's just plain annoying and also very controlling, because why does he need to know that if you're not together, right? All right. She said, another one said that it wasn't about what he said in the text so much as that he felt like he was justified in everything that he said. And the excuses afterward are what made it so difficult for her to recognize that it was abuse in this situation, because he would never shape whatever it was that he had said, however hurtful that was, into something that she was, because he would shape it into something she was ultimately at fault for or responsible for, or if not that, then something that she was just as guilty as him about, you know? I've experienced that myself. She says, for example, she caught him with a heavily detailed fake Facebook account, meaning it wasn't something he just made for a minute. This wasn't just a profile he made with fake name and pictures. He had an entire detailed life of a catfish. What? Bullshit statuses, an employer, education history, everything. She said she called him out on it, got into the account where she found his activity log was full of liking statuses of what appeared to be underage girls. He's nearly 40 years old. Likes of selfies that came from a group called Cute Teens of 2016. Sorry. Participation in that group and others were similar. She said other similar groups, and she said for the most part, the thing that really disturbed her was that he had searched for the now 17-year-old victim of his in his peeping Tom conviction, and she said that I didn't see the papers for until after. Oh, he has a peeping Tom conviction she didn't know about until she'd already left, is what she's saying. But she'd heard various things around town. She said she searches for the 16-year-old, or he has searched for the 16-year-old daughter's friends, to be specific. So he is searching for children his daughter's age. I have so many bad things to say about that, but I'm just going to shut my mouth and keep talking. All right. She, of course, voiced how disturbing this was, and of course it all blew up, and she said while she was packing a bag to leave her, which he never actually did, he said to her, "You think I'm the one with the problem? Really? You know you're the weak one, right?" Are you effing kidding me, dude? She said she replied that she knew she wasn't weak because she said I wouldn't have been able to survive him for that long. Yep. Excuse me. Oh my God. Another member said that her person sent her a text that said her name. "You're so weak that you couldn't have even reported being raped as a child." Yeah. She adds that it was an awful thing to say, obviously, and she now knows it wasn't her fault, but his excuse later that night, in which she has the text, was that they had both said some things, and he would often blame the vicious things that he said on the fact that they were fighting. Fights that would often happen because he blew up, things and being caught. Fights that ensued after gaslighting. Interesting, right? Right. I get it. I've been there, and I've done that. How about y'all? All right. For a long time, she said she didn't recognize that what he was doing was abusive, and because of what followed after his justification for it. You see what I'm saying? So she says because there's no excuse for saying those things. There is no excuse. We all know that. Love isn't supposed to hurt, is it? Even when couples fight, there is such a thing as going too far. It's a healthy thing versus an unhealthy thing. Absolutely. Okay? All right. Then another one says when her narcissist asked her to unlock her phone so he could go through her Facebook messages. First of all, that's a red flag right there. And she refused. He says, "You're a effing scuzz." Y'all remember that word from the 90s? I do. 80s, 90s. Anyway, you're an effing scuzz who couldn't end an argument because of guilt. That's just what you successfully proved. You have to feel better now that you can be honest, right? So basically, he's asking her to agree with him that she's a scuzz. That's a very common narcissistic behavior to ask the victim to agree with them that they're shit. Yeah. Another one says, "Thanks, goodbye." And this is when all she asked for was some time to stabilize from his emotional abuse. And he was like, "You know what, forget about it." Another one says that he was checking on her, asking how she was doing in a very casual way when she had been in a depressive state over how he had been treating her. And then he would say, "I can't believe," after he'd been abusing her, mind you. Now, please remember, this happens all the time with narcissists. I bet you can identify with this. You've been abused, you've retreated, you're hiding out, you're sad, whatever. Says, "I can't believe how little regard and consideration you have for my time and resources," after she told him that she needed to talk to him later that day about this behavior. Oh, yeah. All right, another one says, when her narcissist was at work, she told him that she'd bring him food. She said the kids were fighting and it took longer than she expected to get down to him, so she said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to leave. I'm trying to wrangle a wild Aaron," which apparently is the name of her child. He said, "I didn't think it would be 2 hours. He's not that hard to wrangle. I'm sure you've been dicking off." Whatever. Y'all know. Y'all know. Okay, we're going to move right on. All right, another one says, "I have an email." She got an email from someone, and this was still a texted issue. Okay, text abuse. "I have an email. We were separated, and she received an allowance from him," she said, but it was on an Amex card. She said the guy would check the thing several times a day. She said she got reamed out because she spent $20 on Google Music. She said he'd already bought a new street bike, which was a quad, very expensive, and she said it was costing $400 a month for storage, $10,000 for a vacation he had just gone on with the new supply, by the way, $3,000 at a strip club, y'all, and had a $500 a paycheck deposited in his and his new girlfriend's joint account while he was with this woman. All from their marital joint. This was her husband, y'all. Marital joint account. She had the evidence at the trial to show the extent of the financial abuse. Go girl. Go girl. I love it. That's something that y'all should keep in mind. If you're going through a divorce or you think you might be soon, start collecting that evidence because it's there and you know it. All right. Another one says her narcissist used to tell her that she only has her job because he allows it. She said that he told her that talking to her was like trying to clap with one hand. He referred to her daughter as the princess sarcastically because he hated her. He would fly into a rage if she didn't reply to his text instantly, even if she was driving on the highway, y'all. And, the worst, she said, was before he lived with her, he expected her to be at his place every night. And apparently she said when she replied that it was the only time she would see her kids, he would say, "That's not my problem. Figure it out or I'll find someone who does want to be here." What a jerk. Ugh. All right. Another one says, and this is, the same person, she would sit in her room with him. She would sit in a room with him while he spent every second texting other women on Facebook nonstop. But if she so much as touched her phone, he would rage. "That's why he doesn't talk to me, because I'm always on my phone." How many of y'all have heard that shit before? I did. Anyway, moving right along. All right. And another one says, just this week, her narcissist told her that it took him finding someone level-headed to realize just how crazy her ass was. Okay. Meanwhile, he has a job, he lives in her house, and he pays for nothing. Girl, maybe you are a little crazy letting him live in your house. Get him out. All right. Moving right along. I'm just kidding. You're not crazy. You're abused, and you need to stop allowing it. Okay. So with this person saying that he found someone level-headed just to realize how crazy she was, what that means in Narc speak is that, you know what, I have moved to a new supply, but even though I think you're crazy right now, in like a week or two, I'm probably going to think she's crazy, so I'll be back to see you, girl. All right. Don't fall for that shit. I don't like it. Moving right along. Another one says he turned the air conditioner down, so she turned it up. He sent her a message. "What's wrong? You couldn't find another man? Or you probably gave it up and he left you right where you are." Even though, she says, hours before, he had apologized and said he didn't want any hard feelings and didn't want her to hate him. But I wasn't responding to him, she says. "I blocked him yesterday." I don't need all that nonsense. Go, girl. No, you don't. That's right. Sing it. Okay. Moving right along. I said I don't care. All right. Oh, another one. If I was talking to my mom on the phone on the way home and not taking his call, she said he would say he was talking. She would get a text. You're talking to other men. It was her mom, and you can prove that, by the way. Anyway, another person said I would confront him about his narcissistic behavior, such as leaving to go get a paper and coming home 5 hours later, and he'd say things like, "Are you crazy? Are you delusional?" When she asked if he was with someone else. Because, of course you have to be crazy and delusional because everybody takes 5 hours to get the paper, right? All right, anyway. This is a list of texts that one girl got from her narcissist. You're so drama. Yeah. Oh, wow. Since when can you do this or that? Whatever it is, with mean sarcasm. Like, since when can you cook dinner or whatever? Stupid stuff like that. Another one. No, no, the girls on my timeline are just friends, but yeah, some of them are cute. Ha ha. Whatever. She said, or she would get little bits of half information like, can't drink alcohol on Halloween. When she asked why he blocked her on Facebook, his answer was, I don't know what happened. It just happened. And she said, oh my God, I hate him so much. Sometimes you need that anger to get through to the other side of this thing. But once the anger is no longer useful for you, just a little side note, do something. Let go of it. It can be toxic to your soul, okay? Use it while you need to and then move forward away from it. All right, moving right along. Another one says that her ex-narcissist still tries to contact her by making up new fake profiles and messaging her. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, the Facebook profile thing is more common than we would like to believe. All right. So there's another one who says, "I have a son now." This is a message from an ex narcissist who says to my member, "I see you have a son now. Should have been my son. I wish cancer upon your son. I hope he gets hit by a car." I don't even know what to say about that one. That's how messed up these people can be. That is messed the hell up. Her child is 3 years old. She left this guy 12 years ago and he says this to her. All right. Another one says, I could write a book about the texts that this narcissist mother sent to her all the time. She said her favorite was, "I am so proud to be your mother," only expecting the same or more in return. If she didn't answer right, there would be the silent treatment or the usual, "Why don't you respect me as a mother?" Uh, she said her mother in law would tell her, "You're so cold and distant since this relationship." Or after a no, or after getting caught stealing money again from her and her husband, "You have to forgive me. Your father did way worse than I did. You can't always blame me for old stuff. I didn't do anything wrong. You're just cold hearted." And her favorite, well, if there's no money home, I guess I'll have to prostitute myself. And these are texts that his mother would send, I guess, to him. I thought at first to her, but no, to him. That's crazy. She must have been a narcissist. She said, another one says, they sent me an email on the 1 year anniversary of the discard. Oh, the ex narcissist sent this person an email on the 1 year anniversary of discard telling her or him, I can't remember if this is a male or a female, how happy they were with their new spouse. How happy they were with the new spouse while they were cheating on this person, and how they guess that they're not, that the member is not their quote unquote forever, but they hope that the new spouse is. Or new supply. Turn down new supply. Turn down narcissist. Oh, and they hope I'm happy. By the way, that's what the other person says. Let me just say something really quickly. When I'm saying turn down supply, what I'm saying is that the new supply has no idea what she's getting into. Okay, so it's not really her fault or his fault. It's really the fault of the narcissist, but when you're sitting over here on your side, you might be watching the narcissist and the new supply going, oh my God, why is life so much better for them now? Why is he so much better now? He's not. I promise you that. The thing is that they go through cycles, as you know. They go through the love bombing phase, and then they go through the value phase and the discard phase. And that person will not be immune to those phases either. So don't get yourself all upset about that. All right? This person says to the guy who said they were so, or the woman who said they were so happy with the new person, the new spouse or new supply, thanks for the update that I never asked for. If you were so happy with your new supply, I'd be the last person on your mind. F you. Okay, I like it. Sorry, but honestly, why waste your time? I don't even know that that was a required response, but if you're going to respond at all, don't sugarcoat it. Yeah. Another person. Oh, this is what she got when she set a boundary. It was not a simple thing of not jumping to see him when he had a free night. Okay. So he says, I hope it feels good and you're getting what you need from shooting me down and shutting me out. Y'all have been there, right? You've gotten those guilt texts, oh, poor me. That's narcissistic injury all day long, right? Another one says, how does it feel to know you'll never see your sons get married or have grandbabies and you'll be all alone? And the same narcissist said to this person, I'm ashamed that you're the mother of my children. Blech. Another person sent one that says, I will not be back without the authorities. Don't hurt my dog is all I ask. I don't know. Oh, this is a whole line of them. Okay. So apparently she says, if we've ever mattered, then I humbly ask to please don't do this out of anger. Please come in peace and settle things together tomorrow like adults. This is what she says to him or her, the narcissist. The narcissist said back, you do not matter. Then the member says, wait, what? Authorities? Dinner's ready. Alex is fed and sleeping. Why would you say that? Laundry is drying. Nothing is happening. Oh my God, this is over the top. Then the narcissist, then she says, babe, why is Renee texting me? And then he says, this can be easy or this can be hard. Make your choice. I've put up with your mouth. I'm done. I gave you a second chance to work it out. Now there's no going back. Implant that in your crazy head. We are all finished. And stop texting Brit because I see all of it. Be truthful, please. I don't know the whole story here. She says, Brit, I'm not sure what that means. I literally have no clue why you're doing this. We had a dumb argument about ginger root. I'm dumbfounded. If you yell and rage, I'm sorry. It freaks me out. You know this is excessive. I'm not your enemy. I love you. Please. This makes no sense. His response, so you haven't been texting Brittany? Duh, you know what I meant. I see it. Stop. Quit lying. Forward that. And then it goes on. Whew. Another one says, because her ex-narcissist and her were long distance in the beginning, they decided to download an application that extracts and keeps texts. They wanted to make a book full of the loving texts, aka love bombing texts, to look back on. She says she has hundreds of files with thousands and thousands of texts. This excerpt is discard number 2, triangulation. She said the ex-wife he once said was crazy is his best friend forever now. After a ridiculous argument, he went to her and her husband's house, yet the person is looking at her texting her friend Brittany, telling her he left. She said he's mad at that, yet he's at his ex's house telling them horrific things. Later she discovers that, and that was with the stuff before that I just read to you. She says later she discovers that he told them he was in fear for the dog's life, yet he kept him with her a week after the text. And he told everyone, this is a smear campaign, y'all, that she was crazy and he had to escape. She said 2 days later he was on Plenty of Fish looking for serious a relationship, to which he said he had no idea who made that profile. He had no memory of joining. Of course. She said she felt like she sounded pathetic, begging for his return. But you know what? We've all been there. We've all, even though we didn't maybe even want to, we said what we knew they wanted us to say. Why are you doing this? Please come home. La la la. Right? All right. All right. Here's another one. This is from another member. She said that although she's been no contact since before texting with her sister, she said her sister has recently been harassing her daughter, and her niece has blocked all possible cyber avenues, but her narcissist mother has broken through a few times. So her niece had to close all of her accounts. She said her niece gets mail, letters, and packages addressed to her kids from this person, the narcissist, which she marks return to sender. The narcissist mother apparently has recruited her friends, her niece's friends, and her acquaintances to break through to the niece's security. She says her sister, who is the niece's mother, has contacted her several times to try to get information out of her. She said what surprised her is that once she learned about the narcissist MO, it's so obvious now, and they really do fit the profile in the DSM. It's like she says there's a script they read from. I just did a post about this the other day. It really is like that. Like they seem to all be reading from the same script, right? Anyway, so yeah, this is a whole bunch of narcissist craziness, right? Now, I've got a few more screenshots that people shared with me, so I'm going to share those with you really quick. Let's go ahead and do that. So here we have something that happens to a lot of moms and I guess even some stay-at-home dads, all right? This one comes from a member and she says, basically that because she's a stay-at-home mom, because she does all these different things. At the time, he behaves as though she's a child. He behaves as though she's not as good as he is, and so on and so forth. So she says things like this. He says, "It's not your household, it's our household." And this is because she said, "I have a household to run. I don't have time to do those things you want me to do." He says, "It's not yours, it's ours. I have invested just as much time, if not more, into our lives and the kids. So no, I'm not managing myself. I am managing myself, the kids, and you. You want independence? Go get it. Get a job. Move out of the house I pay for and have independence. But don't use all my money and claim you're independent. You're not. You are reliant until you prove otherwise. You want independence? Then let's get this shit over and sell the house. Mary can get," I guess that's a person who's their real estate person, "can get us a profit off it right now. You'll have to have the profit and you can get an apartment." Oh, he's offering half of the profit from the house. "You can get an apartment. You can move in with your parents. I don't care. We're going to lose money on the house because if we go through to the divorce, then we don't get to pick our realtor. So you want your independence? Let me know and I can get a document of sale for you to sign so we can both move forward with our lives. But do not rely on me for everything and claim you're independent. You are not. Don't kid yourself." See how he's talking down to her. He's treating her like she's less than. But she stands up for herself and she says, "Hey, I am independent because I'm living on my own. With or without a divorce, that's what I'm doing. With or without a divorce, you'll be supporting us financially. This is what you wanted to do. So please allow us and this to be amicable while you do what you want. I did not choose this path. I am simply asking you to respect me as a human being and the mother of your children as you choose to leave. I would like to be treated fairly and given the respect I deserve." She says, "I'm a capable, strong woman, and I'm fully capable of managing money weekly for the children and I. 1 week of crisis does not change that. I cannot force you to give me this respect at this point, but I am asking you to consider it because I deserve that." Of course, then he goes on and says, "You cannot claim independence and be 100% reliant on me financially. You're a fool if you think I would think otherwise. Blah, 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 groceries. I'll have groceries for you on Friday. Have a great night and an early tomorrow." What a jerk. Okay. She says this one happened when he was late. He was late picking up the kids. Understand? He sends her all these. It's now 10:25, 10:30, 10:35, 10:40, da da. And he says, "At 11, I knocked on the door and I expected the children. I texted you at 11 I would be here. You have more than enough time to get them ready. If you continue to deny me the children, I'm calling the police and they can handle this." You guys. Okay, here's another one. This woman was accused by her ex of, committing food stamp fraud by text. Yeah. So she says, "I don't appreciate using my social security number to get into things. It is illegal. Do not do that anymore. I realize you have it memorized, but I will not tolerate you using it to access anything in my name." He says this coming from the women he wrote, "who committed fraud getting food stamps without reporting my income. Whatever. I didn't use your social security number. I used mine because I'm on the account. If I'm not on the account, I'm not responsible for the bill. You can cover the Excel cost by yourself at this point. So I will no longer be paying it. Tell your lawyer to start talking to mine and we can actually start negotiating these things." She said, "No, I told them exactly how much you give me. That is 100% true. I do not have your income now that you have left the house. I had you removed from the account. You clearly used mine." He says, "However you want to get your hand out illegally is your business. We are married and that money is, part of the deal or whatever." So, that money is, hold on, it's supposed to be reported. You lied about our income and it is our income until the divorce is final. You can justify that to yourself however you want, but what you did is 100% illegal. You didn't have me removed because I just paid it with my info on the account. I really don't care if you believe me or not. I'm just telling you what happened." She says, "I discussed it with them. It's not illegal. I told them you make money and I don't have access to it. That you left, that you give me $140 a week to live on. That's how it works." That's a tough one, you guys. All right, here's another one. All right, so in this one, the narcissist has just learned that the survivor has deleted him on Facebook, unfriended him on Facebook. So he says, Are you serious right now? You unfriended me on Facebook? And she says, it's temporary. Right now I need some space, mental space, and I don't want to have the need to have the ability to check in on you on social media. I don't want or need to see your posts right now. It hurts seeing your name on my feed. I just need some time. I think that's totally reasonable, right? Yeah. So, of course, he's like, whatever. It's always drama with you. Heard from my family that you at least told them, but me? No. And the morning of my midterm. Here's the narcissistic injury, y'all. The shit with you, the sabotage never fucking stops. Pardon my French. I'm just reading here. Whatever. You already blocked my number. You probably already blocked my text, but one further thing. I don't ever post anything. So damn passive aggressive. I hate it. You know what? Fine. Have a nice life. Bye. She says, I haven't blocked your text. We need to be able to communicate throughout this divorce process. He said, well, you sure aren't doing a very good job of that. So nice of you to send everyone else an explanation. And then apparently he transferred money for the tax, or she did money for the taxes, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, make sure you delete all pictures of us from your new Facebook profile. Wouldn't want anyone to know that we are friends. And she says, Narcissist, do you really think I would do that? It's Facebook and it's temporary. I needed to do this for me and my own healing. I meant no harm to anyone. I created no drama. Of course, that couldn't be any good for him. He says, of course you created drama by sending a message to get attention because, aw, poor Tina. He says, unfollow, simple, but it's cool, whatever. I'm 45, not 12. So apparently their daughter is talking to you, yes? So this is what it's going to be now, huh? You're not going to respond, he says. Anyway, so that's that one. Here's another one. He says she told him to die. She was upset. He says, your son will before he's 10. Remember, I predicted that when you lower him in his grave in a car crash. And then he said, LOL. I really don't like when people mess with children. All right. There's another one, a different person. She says, wait a minute. Okay. She says, I work tonight, but I'm off the weekend, just letting you know. He says, okay, won't be there either way. She says, okay, sounds good. He says, yep, sounds good to you that I can't come to my own home. Good luck paying the utilities because I'm not paying half of them if I'm not allowed in my own home. Going through divorce. She says, I already told you. She says, I never told you can't be at the house, narcissist. We already talked about this. Okay, I just don't understand why you're in my business, he says. I don't go through your stuff and I don't care about who you see. I don't bother you about who you're dating getting effed by. It doesn't matter to me, so I expect the same from you. What a jerk. She says, I'm not in your business. All I ask is that she doesn't come to the house, meaning the new supply. He says, and she doesn't, and I expect the same. And yes, you went through my shit. But it doesn't matter. I'm working. Have a good one. I'll come by later and let the dog out. She says, actually, most of the stuff I found out the truth was through public sources, but it doesn't matter. I could care less now. What's done is done. He said, public sources, LOL. She said, like I said, it doesn't matter. What's done is done. I know who you are and what you've done. We're done. And neither one of us want each other back. Let's just be civil and sell the house. He said, yeah, apparently nobody's interested in it, so don't know how that's going to go. And who I am I some bad person? Really? Never did anything wrong to you. She said, that's funny. And really, narcissist, if you need me or anyone else to tell you who you are, then you're doing it wrong. Good one. Yeah. So there you go. All right. Here's another one. This person said, sorry, I did that. I hate that you bring out that side of me. And the other person said, that's not an excuse. It's an insult. Learn to take responsibility for your actions. I'm done with this conversation and with this entire situation. Let's just make a point of not being around each other. Thanks. And this person said, yep, just don't destroy my stuff. This was a situation that the blue is actually the victim here, believe it or not, because this was a situation where the victim was attacked by the narcissist, and the narcissist later, as you can see, sorry I did that. I hate that you bring out that side of me. Guys, you know what that is? That's blaming the victim for your abuse and behavior. So, yeah. All right. Now, this is one I find incredibly fascinating. This one here is from, it was a compilation that somebody put together. And as you can see, this is all of the problems that, all of the things that they, the kind of text that she would get. So basically, he's complaining about having cigarettes. He's complaining about, can I get the wall charger? Can you get drinks? Uh, you know, I left my thing. Can you send me my card? Can you bring me my sweatshirt? Um, you know, could you get another phone? Da da da. Could you all these things, right? She says this is pretty much the story of her life, right? So here's another one. So the narcissist was harassing her about sex, and she says, "Well, I'm still interested, but please don't expect anything when I'm sick." And he says, "Fine. Just don't expect me to lose interest in our sexual relationship because we aren't having it. And please don't expect me to simply accept this, that this is it just because you are unwell at this current moment. I love you and I don't expect shit. And frankly, if I did by now, I would have been pretty bloody livid by now. So what's the plan, if anything, with this respiratory complaint?" She says, "I gave you an update before." So that's an example of how, you know, the narcissist is so careless about your health and everything else. And yet, then they're like, okay, well, you're sick, so how are we going to get through this now? Yeah. Anyway, narcissists, weird sex stuff, weird, whether they're withholding sex or they're using sex against you or they're actually demanding sex from you, even when they're horrible assholes to you. In any case, male or female, they do it. They use sex to manipulate and control you in various ways. So, all right, there you have it. 101 narcissistic texts, text by abuse from narcissists to supply. What do you think about all that? Have you experienced any of these? Do any of these sound familiar to you, or is this totally out of left field? Tell me your thoughts. Like I said, I collected these from members of the SPAN group. They are actual texts from narcissists to victims, and they are either descriptions of text or, as you can see, in some cases, actual screenshots of text. So, what do you think? Narcissists abusing people in text. It's more common than you think. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I hope you have had a wonderful day. I know I have. It's been a very busy one. Let's do this. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Thanks for being a part of my life. Thanks for letting me be a part of yours. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for another video. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.